Okay. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back, everyone, as we are continuing Masechet Sanhedrin. We're in the ninth Perek Nisrafin. We're on Pei Amud Bet. We didn't have a shir last week as a Purim, so we're going to kind of like double up now. So this might be a little longer than usual type of shiur. Okay, so let us take a look. We were holding Kol Hayve Mitot. This is the two dots on Pei Amud Bet. Okay, so we're starting Kol Hayve Mitot. So let's say that people got mixed up. Some people supposed to get stoned, some people supposed to get burned. We say all of them then get the punishment of the cooler, the one that's more lenient, the cooler. Shema mina. The Gemara says Shema mina muter davar hamur hevi mutra ledavar kal. Someone who got warned for a severe penalty, someone who got warned, for example, for stoning, it's as if you also got warned for burning. That's the proof here, because here the guy got the punishment. He got warned about stoning. He was supposed to get stoned. He got mixed up with the also get burned. He gets burned. So it must be that the warning of stoning works for the punishment of burning as well. I'm going to be out. The Bimia says, that's not necessarily true, because what's the case over here? They never told him during the warning you're going to get stoning. Rather, they told him, if you do this, you're going to be hayav mitam. And this is the Tana, and our Mishnah is like this Tana. The Tanya was told in the Torah, and the other mitot shebetorah, except for the mesit, except for the one who it says lo tachmo lo tchaser alav, the guy who tries to get other people to do aval zaram. Him, we have to find every way to kill him. We already learned about this guy. But everyone else, you have to. You need witnesses. So you need the Sanhedrin, right? You need the Sanhedrin katana. You need 23. But you need witnesses. And he needs a warning. And he's been informed that he get mitat betin. So you see, all you have to tell him is hayab mitat betin. He's going to be hayab mitat betin. Not what type of mitat. Rabbi Huda Omer, no, you also have to tell him what type of mitah, what type of death penalty he's going to get. Where is the Tanakama again his proof from? Tanakama Mikoshesh. He's learning from Mikoshesh. Remember the guy who he collected his sticks, right? Mikoshesh Etzim. So Mikoshesh Etzim, they didn't know how to kill him, but they must have given him a warning. Right, so they must have given him a general warning, and then they found out how to kill him. They killed him with stoning. So you see, you can give a general warning. But you can't learn anything from the Mikoshesh, because that was a Horat Sha'am. It was a ad hoc decision. It wasn't something that was done, the way it was supposed to. It just happened the way it happened, and it was a Horat Sha'am. It was a special din for that time. So not necessarily we learned from there. However, the Rambam brings down the Alachalama said you don't have to say what type of mitah. You can just say stam. You're going to do this isur. You're going to be hayab mitat betin, and that's enough for the warning to work. Okay, okay. Hanishlokin v'nisrafin. So this part of the Gemara is dealing with the case of the Mishnah, which is hanishkalin v'nisrafin. Those who get skila got mixed into those who are supposed to be burned. Okay? Now, what that means is that way it's implied is the guy who's supposed to get skila, he got mixed into a bunch of people who were supposed to get srefa. Okay? Not the other way around. That's the way it's understanding. Now, there was a rabbi, Matne Rav Yecheskel Lerami Bereh. Rav Yecheskel was teaching his son Rami in the following. He switched the order. He said, Nisrafin v'niskalin. One guy who's supposed to get srefa got mixed up with a bunch of people who were supposed to get stoned. Now, the Bishimon Omer, so the Bishimon Bar Yochai holds that srefa is worse. So the Bishimon Omer, Yidonu b'skila shehasrefa hamura. According to the Bishimon, you're going to give the punishment of skila, because skila is the lesser punishment, and halacha is you give the lesser punishment. So if you have one guy who's supposed to get srefa, which is the higher punishment of Shimon Bar Yochai, he got mixed in a bunch of people who's supposed to get skila. So you give him skila. Amalei Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda, another one of Yechezkel's sons, tell him, Abba lo titneh hachi. Don't teach the Mishnah this way, right? Don't teach it this way. Ma irya desrefa hamura. Tepok le deruba niskalin ninhu. Because perhaps you can learn the lesson over here that's nothing to do with the fact that srefa is the worst punishment and you're choosing the more lenient punishment. Rather, you're saying get skila because it's the road, it's the majority. Here you have one guy who's supposed to get burnt. He got mixed up into a bunch of people who are supposed to get skila. So therefore, you're giving him skila because it's the majority, not because it's the lesser of the punishments. As we're on 80B-2 in the bottom paragraph. How should he have taught the Mishnah? He should have said, Haniskalin ben Israfin. If you have one guy who's supposed to get skila and he got mixed up into those who are supposed to get burned, Rabbi Shimon Omer, according to Rabbi Shimon Yochai, who says that srefa is worse and skila is the lesser, and you have one guy who's skila, got mixed into a bunch of people to get srefa. Rabbi Shimon Omer, you don't need skila. Still, in this case, give everybody skila. Give everybody the lesser punishment. Even though there's one guy who's supposed to get skila, give everybody else skila also. Srefa hamura, because srefa is the worser punishment, and when you have a mix-up, you have to give everybody the lesser punishment. In this case, makes more sense than iskalin ben israfin for Rabbi Shimon. But 1 second, look at the end of the Mishnah. The Chachamim say you don't need srefa shaskila chamura. No, you're going to give everybody srefa because skila is the worser punishment. 1 second. Maybe it's not because it's more chamur, rather because it's rove. You have one guy who's supposed to get skila, get mixed up, and everybody's supposed to get sreifa. So you say, come and give him sreifa, because sreifa is a lesser punishment. No, maybe you're giving sreifa because it's the majority of people who supposed to get sreifa. So Gemara says you have to understand how to read this Mishnah. Hatam Rabbanan hu dikamle le Rabbi Shimon. The Rabbanan are not giving a new case. The Rabbanan are saying, Rabbi Shimon, your case and your psak, no, it's the other way. Lidach da'amata sreifa hamura, lo skila hamura. No, sreifa is not more chamor. Skila is more chamer. Okay, so just to review this part of the Gemara, so just to review the last piece and this piece, so we'll do them both outside very quick. The previous piece on 80B1 was because we said if a person, one guy who say is chayav skila, and he got mixed up with a bunch of people who are supposed to get srefa, everybody gets srefa, which is the lower punishment according to the Chachamim. We always give the lower punishment. So the Gemara's question back on the previous page was, does that mean when you give a person a warning for stoning, does that also include srefa? And the Gemara said not necessarily. The halacha actually is you can give a person a general warning. If you do this sin, you'll be chayav mitat betin, but not saying what type of mitah. Then the next Gemara that we just dealt with was the lashon haniskalin ben israfin, means one guy is supposed to get skila, got mixed up in a bunch of people who are supposed to get sreifa, right? And you had Rabbi Cheskel who taught it backwards, and his son told him, no, you can't teach it that way. Why? You have to teach it in a way that doesn't show it's because of rove, right? If everyone's supposed to get sreifa, and one guy is supposed to get skila, then it makes sense to give sreifa because it's the majority. You have to teach it in a way that shows not the majority, but rather it's because of the 1 second. Rather, it's because of the din that you give the more kuladik punishment to everyone, because you can't give someone the stronger punishment when he is not obliged. He's not hayav that punishment. Just give me 1 second as I plug this the screen in so it doesn't die on us. Give me 1 second here. Done. Okay, fine. We're back in front. Okay, so now in the bottom of 80B2, and okay, Amalei Shmuel Rav Yehuda. Shmuel said to Rav Yehuda, the son of Rav Yecheskel, who said to his father, "Don't teach it this way. Teach it in a way that shows the chidush." Amalei Shmuel Rav Yehuda Shinanat. Hey, sharp one, or someone with long teeth, meaning he has good questions. You got to be careful. Lo temale la'avuchachi. Don't talk to your father like this. The Tanyapa was told in the Braita. One whose father who violates a Torah law, you shouldn't tell him, Abba, Torah. You're going against the Torah. You tell him, Abba, kach ketiba Torah. Is such and such written in the Torah? You ask him in a question mode. Let him give his own answer. Gemara says, still you're giving him rebuke, so to speak. Father, the following verse is written in the Torah. He quotes the verse. He doesn't expressly connect it to his father. Rather, he allows his father to come to the realization that he erred. Right? And that's what the Rambam brings down. You ask it, Rabba, what does it mean? How does it say? You ask it respectfully and not let it tell your father straight up that he's doing an Avera. So same too over here. He's telling Shmuel, is telling Rabbi Yehuda, you don't tell your father you're teaching it wrong. You can tell him, maybe teach it like this, maybe it makes more sense like that. What about it like this? What do you think? In a nice way, in a positive way. Okay. As we continue the next Mishnah, okay, Mishin and Hayeb Ishte Mitot Betin. Okay, someone is supposed to get two types of mitah. All right, Nidon Bahamura. You give him the more severe type. Okay, so if a person did a sin and he's supposed to get two types of mitot, you give him the stronger type. And if he did one sin that is liable to two types of executions, Nidon Bahamura. You give him again the more. You have two cases in the Mishnah. He does two sins. Each one is a different punishment. You give him the bigger punishment. And if he did one sin that has two punishments, we're going to see a case. Look at note 6. One had relations with his mother-in-law while she was married. Okay, so it's his mother-in-law. It's a srefa. And she's a married woman. Eshet ish. It's henik. Right? So he gets two. So here he says, Nidon b'hamura. You give him the more severe punishment. The Yossi Omer, not necessarily. Nidon bazika harishona shaba'alav. You give him the punishment that was the first that was the first isur, the first prohibition. We'll see what this means in a few minutes. Okay, let's take a look. So we said if he does two sins, you give him the harsher punishment. Pshita, the Gemara says, obvious. Ela itagore itagur. Should he profit? If he does two sins and you give him the lesser punishment, no, you give him the higher one. So what's the hidush? Amarava hachabamayaskinan. Tigon shavar avera kala. Let's say a guy did a light punishment, meaning he's supposed to get chenek. V'nigmadin alavera kala, and he gets a punish. He gets the court case, and they say he has to get strangled. V'hazar v'avar avera hamura, and then he goes and he does a worse sin, and then he's supposed to get now a higher punishment. Salketachamina kivan denigmar dino alavera kala hagavra ketilahu kamashmalan. No, what does it mean? If he went to court and it was nigmar din, and they said he has to get chenek. Then he goes and makes another avera, and he's supposed to get skila. Maybe we said we can't give him skila because he was already punished with. He's already supposed to get chenek. It's as if he's a dead man already, and you can't give him another punishment and give him a different dead punishment. You say no, that's not true. Even though he had a punishment for chenek already sentenced on him, but it wasn't done yet, and now he did not avera. He has to get skila, for example. He's gonna get the skila. Where did the rabbis get their idea from? That you give him the stronger one. Because it says, this is a pasuk in Yecheskel. All right, he's dealing with the people about they're asking why things are happening and stuff like that. And he says, if someone has a violent son who sheds blood upon the mountains, he ate, and his fellow's wife he defiled, and to the idols he lifted his eyes. The Gemara now explains, how did the Banan view this pasuk? This is represents a sin of murder. Now, murder, what do you get? B'sayif. Shofer dam, right? Someone who kills somebody, we saw he gets the sword, you kill him with the sword. It if he then defiles his friend's wife, so eshet ish behenik gets henik, strangulation, a different type of punishment. And if he looks up to the Avodah Zarah, Avodah Kochavim, b'skila, uchtiv, it says mot yumat dama bo yeh. And mot yumat dama bo, we know dama bo means skila. So you see, he did all these different punishments, and we end up giving him stoning. So even though he was chayav sayef, the sword, and then he's supposed to be chayav chenik, and all, no, we give him the harsher punishment. That's the proof from the Rabbanan. Matkiv le Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak said, not necessarily. Ema kulahu b'skila. Perhaps everything is with skila. This whole pasuk of Yecheskel is talking about skila. Behold, ben parei shofer dam. It doesn't mean you kill somebody. Zeh ben sorer mored b'skila. It means someone who's a sorer more. And sorer more, we saw, he gets skila. He defiles his friend's wife. Maybe this wife is it's the betrothed woman, and that we know this halacha is skila. And Avodah Zarah is also skila. So all of them is skila. That's why they give skila. If that's true, the way of Nachman Yitzchak, that everything, all these cases in the pasuk is about skila. What is he teaching us? Maybe he's just reviewing the Torah. If he's reading the Torah, if he's reviewing the Torah, then he should have done like Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu reviewed the whole Devarim, was an overview of the whole Torah. You're going to review the Torah, you should review the whole thing. Make your own Devarim, make your own Torah Moshe, right? Make your own Mishnah Torah. And obviously it's not what he did. Therefore, the Rabbanan say, if a person is chayav one mitah, did another sin chayav a different mitah, and the second mitah is a worser punishment, he gets the worser punishment. That's the law the Rambam brings down as well. Darash Rav Acha b'Rebbi Chanina. My dichtiv, what does it mean? El heharim lo achav. Okay, so we got a little bit into Yecheskel, but we're going to learn a little bit more in Yecheskel. El heharim lo achav. Upon the mountains he did not eat. What does it mean? He didn't need the schut of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. The guy is able to stand on his own zechutim. He did not lift to the eyes to the idols of the house of Israel. Did not walk outside, with his bini bulad that he's looking with his nose up in the sky that he's all special. He's humble. But he did not defile his friend's wife. What does that mean? Obviously, no one's doing that. It means he didn't even get into his friend's trade. His friend has a business. He's not doing the same business as his friend. He's not encroaching on his parnasa. And he's not going close to anida woman. What does that mean? He's not even going close to the kuppah of tzedakah. Meaning he needs tzedakah and he's not going to it. Right? Taking tzedakah is not a good thing. Getting help is not a good thing. A person should be self-sufficient. A person should be the one giving the help. Right? So this guy doesn't even take the help. That's why it says at the end of the pasuk, tzaddik he is a righteous man, he should surely live. Obviously, a person who stays away from his friend's wife is not considered a tzaddik. That's a normal behavior. But that's why these words in this pasuk have to be learned that it means more. The guy has his own zchutim. The guy, he walks kalecham, he's humble. He doesn't go on someone else's panasah. He doesn't take tzedakah even if he needs it. That's a tzaddik. When Rabbi Akiva, when Rabbi Gamliel would get to this pasuk, he would cry. What pasuk this is? So you take a look in the note 25. It's a pasuk in chapter 18, verse 19. Not brought down here in the Gemara, but it's in the same perek. And over there it says, Call my decrees did he safeguard, all my decrees he safeguard, he should surely live. So Rabbi Gamliel, so what? All I have to do all the mitzvot, and then I'm going to live. How could I do all the mitzvot? It's so hard to do the mitzvot. All of them I have to do, otherwise I won't be living. And he started to cry. And it's not enough just one. Akiva said to Rabbi Gamliel, to Rabbi Gamliel, right? To Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Akiva said to Rabbi Gamliel, no. The word call doesn't mean all. It means at least part of it. Al titetmu bechol ela. Because there's a pasuk in Vayikra that says, after listing all the arayot, it says, don't do any of these. Well, what do you mean by all? Don't do all of these. What do you mean? I can't do all of them? Only then I can't do it? But if I do one of them, it's okay? No. Rather, bechol means any. Not all, but any. The same thing here. Achinami michul and you don't need to do all of them to live. B'hadaminahu. You do one of them. Mikol ela. B'chol ela. Achinami ba'achat mikol ela kol. Kol means any one of these. That doesn't mean a person can just do one mitzvah and then he's good. I wash until the eye, I'm good. Rather, it means perhaps that the person does one mitzvah, it leads him to do another mitzvah, and then another mitzvah, and then another mitzvah, and then he ends up doing kol. But you have to start somewhere. And if you can't do everything, you shouldn't feel bad because you're doing part of it, which is going to lead you to doing more. Okay. Now, the next case that the Mishnah brought down was if a person did a sin that is chayav two mitot at one shot. And the example we gave was if a person was with his mother-in-law, so a son-in-law and a mother-in-law, you're not allowed to be together. They're not allowed to sleep together. But let's say they did. So he has, and the mother-in-law is married. So there's two mitot, right? Two punishments. First of all, for him with his mother-in-law, that's srefa, right? They get burnt. But his mother-in-law is also married. When she's married, she's an eshet ish, and eshet ish, stam eshet ish, is chenek, strangulation. So the Chachamim of Mishnah said, you give him the stronger punishment, which is trefa. Rabbi Yossi said, Tanya, let's take a look. Tanya, case Amar Rabbi Yossi, nidon bezika rishona haba'a Allah. You give the punishment that came first, the first isur. What is the example? Chamato v'na'asot eshet ish nidon b'chamato. Eshet ish v'na'aset hamoto nidon b'eshet ish. It says as follows. Who is this woman at the time he sins with her? Meaning, when he got married, she's his mother-in-law. Okay? She's his mother-in-law. Was she already married at that time or she got married after? Okay, so take a look at this. According to the Yossi, he is being with this woman, his mother-in-law. But his mother-in-law was first an eshet ish. She was first married. She had a husband. And then he married her daughter. So she's first an eshet ish. The first isur to him was that she's a married woman. Always. Even before he married her daughter, he wasn't allowed to be with her because she's an eshet ish. So then, the punishment he gets is because eshet ish, he gets chenek. If he first married her daughter and she was not married at that time, his mother-in-law was, she was a widow. Okay? So he married her daughter and then his mother-in-law gets married. And now he's with his mother-in-law. So what was the first isser to him? The first isser to him was his mother-in-law. So it's trefa. We don't worry about the second isur. That is the way that Rabbi Yossi understands the halacha. Okay? So, again, if it was first his mother-in-law and then she got married, you punish with srefa. Eshet ish, if first she was a married woman and then he married her daughter and then he's with her, eshet ish. The first isur of eshet ish, that's what stays. Amar le Rav Adar b'Hava Rava. Chamato v'na'asot eshet ish. The Braita said if it was a mother-in-law and she became an eshet ish, nidon b'hamoto. Okay, he is you punish him with the chamoto, right? Because that's the issur that came first. She's a mother-in-law, and then she got married, so shit chamoto. Because what? This is all based on, by the way, on what's called ein issur chal al issur. There's a machloket. Okay, there's a machloket in Yevamot about ein issur chal al issur. What's going on? Why is the Yossi holding what he's holding? He's holding as follows. Once something is asur, you can't make it more asur. It's already asur. What are you doing? Making another issur on an issur? There are those who hold you could have, like the Tanakama here. You could have a second issur and then you go with the stronger one. But according to Yossi, no, you have one issur. You can't add another issur. But the Gemara says, "But hold on. Even according to the opinion that ein issur chal issur, no issur can fall on another issur, there is exceptions. They don't nami issur ishitish. The ha'amar Rabbi Abahu moder Rabbi Yossi be issur musif. In the case where she was the mother-in-law first, and then she got married, it is an issur that goes on top of an issur. Why? Because we say, even though we just say maybe ain't issur chal issur, but if the issur expands, meaning right now she was only usher to him as the mother-in-law, but she was mutter to everyone else. Now she's an Eshet Ish. She's not mutter to anyone. The issur now expanded to more people. So then the issur does fall down on another one. So it's two punishments over here. Should work, even according to Rabbi Yossi. A Moedi Rabbi Yossi be issur mosif. If the issur got bigger and larger, he would. Amrle adibere. He said, Rabbi said to Ada, my son, what do you want to do? You killed him once, now you want to kill him a second time? What do you want to do with this guy? You're right. There's two isurim here, but you're only going to kill him once. You can't kill him twice. And further, the Chachamim say they're going to give him the stronger punishment. That is the halakha. Okay. Now we're starting another Mishnah. Interesting Mishnah, because this now puts into perspective many of the things that we've learned up until now. Right? We said if you give the guy a warning, he doesn't accept the warning, you can't do anything to him. Right? If you didn't give him a warning, you can't do anything to him. Going to learn that that's not necessarily true. What it means you can't do anything to him is you can't do anything to him directly. But you cannot give him hayav skila if you don't have the right witnesses and the edim and everything. But if we know he did it, it's something that we could do. And not only that, listen to this. Mi shelaka b'shana. If someone did something that is chayav karet, like, for example, eating hametz on Pesach, and you warn him, and you give him makot, and then he does it again. You warn him, you give him makot again, and he does it a third time, betin machnisin oto lekippah. We put him into a vault. We're going to see. It is a narrow standing place, vertical place that he stands. Just fits him. He can't lay down. And we're going to see first they're going to give him a little bit of water, a little bit of food. They're going to starve him, make his intestines shrivel. Then they're going to give him barley, and it's going to expand, and it's going to blow up his stomach, and he's going to die. And this is just for a guy who's doing something that's hayav karet multiple times. Someone did something twice, and he got makot. He does it the third time. You're going to put him into a kippah and kill him. We're dealing with chayavei karet. When someone is chayav karet, right? The Rambam brings 21 things. Chayav karet. The gavar bar ketelahu. Because someone who gets karet, that means he's condemned to die. Right? In Shamayim, they're going to kill him. And we're not killing him, we're just hastening the death. Since he renounced his own life by doing this, because makot helps for tshuva only if he does tshuva. But if he doesn't do tshuva, it doesn't help the makot. Therefore, The court brings him closer to his death. Another qualification. It's if he does the same sin over and over again. But if he did one sin at karet, and another sin at karet, and different sin that gets the punishment of karet, then no. There he's having his taiva, he's doing different type of things, but he's not going to get this punishment of kippah. Only time he gets the kippah, if he's doing the same sin 3 times, then he gets the punishment of putting into a kippah. Okay. So by the way, just now we finished the last week's Gemara, right? The Purim, the one we didn't do on Purim. So now we are starting this week's Gemara. We said a person who got makot, and he got a second time makot. The third time you don't give him makot, you throw him into the kippah. What's this all based on? It's based on a chazaka, a presumption, a legal presumption that if a person did it once, twice, 3 times, he's considered that he's always going to do it, and therefore he's allowed to be put into the kippah. Now, shana, we thought if he did it twice, even if he didn't get the punishment 3 times. Perhaps the Mishnah is not like Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Rav Shimon ben Gamliel has a machoket with Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi. Yehuda Hanasi holds for a chazak you only need something twice to be done, whereas Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel holds you do it 3 times. So here we're saying you give the guy twice makot and you throw him into the kippah. But maybe it's like Rebbe. Because Rav Shimon ben Gamliel ha'amar atilazim ne'lo have chazaka. I'll let you do it 3 times. It's not a chazaka. And since this guy didn't get the 3rd makot, he just got it twice. Maybe it's like Rebbe, not like Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Sama Ravina, no. A few Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, even Rav Shimon ben Gamliel. Kesavar averot mahazikot. Because what? Not how many makot he got, but rather how many times he did the averah. Oh, he did the averah 3 times. That's a chazakah. You can throw him into the kippah already. 1 second. B'mitzvah was taught on a brighter. Avar averah shesh bo malkut. If a person did an averah that has malkut, pam rishon shniya malkinoto. First 2 times you give him malkut. Oh, she should consider the total kippah. The 3rd time he does the same sin, you throw him into the kippah and you kill him indirectly. Abba Shaul Omer, no. Even the 3rd time you give him malkut, but if you eat the 4th time he does it, he needs to know the kippah. Then you throw him into the vault, into the chamber, and you're going to kill him indirectly. Now, what's going on here? Yeah, the first opinion, he does it twice. You give him twice makot. The 3rd time you throw him into the kippah. The second opinion is he has to get 3 times makot, and then you throw him into the kippah. So my lab the must be everyone's saying that it is the makot, and there's a machloket. And they're arguing according to Rebbe Shimon ben Gamliel. According to Rebbe, you only need twice. He got twice makot. You throw him into the prison. You throw him into the vault. Rebbe Shimon ben Gamliel says you need those 3 times, and then you throw him into the makot. Gemara says, "Lo, no, that's not the answer. It's not the makot doesn't make it. Lo, the kuli ama etu Rebbe Shimon ben Gamliel. Everybody holds you have to have it 3 times. And this is what they're arguing. The Mar Savar Averot Mahazikot. One holds it's the Averah. He does Averah 3 times. You throw him in through the thing. That's the Hazakah. It's the Averah. Mar Savar Rabbi Shaul holds it's the Malkuyot Mahazikot. Getting Malkot, that is what establishes the Hazakah. Therefore, he has to get it 3 times, and you can throw him in. So it depends on what you're looking at, the Averah or the Makot. But there was another writer that says hitrubo vishotak. You told me you do this thing, you get chayiv karet, you're going to get makot, and he doesn't say even so. He just keeps quiet. Hitrubo v'hirkin v'rosho, or he nods his head. Pam rishona u'shniya matrinbo. The first and second time, we give him a warning. You can't give him makot because he didn't accept the warning. Shili sheet, konsin oto the kippah. The 3rd time, you throw him into the vault. You let him die indirectly, even though he didn't get makot beforehand. Abba Shaul Omer, Abba Shlishit matrinbo. You still give him the warning the 3rd time, but if you eat konsin oto the kippah, but the 4th time, then you throw him into the cell. V'hatam malkut leka. and then there's no makot. Don't tell me one guy is saying you need the makot to make the hazakah. Here, there is no makot because he didn't accept the makot. You gave him the warning, and it's only warnings, right? So it's the averah. And here we say, no, one says you need to do the averah 3 times, you throw him in, and one says, no, you have to do the averah 4 times and throw him in. So, what are they arguing? Amar Avina, to throw him into the kippah, do you need to warn him again? Abba Shaul says you need to warn him again. That's why you cannot do it right away. You have to wait another round. Where is the other opinion? The Rabbanan say, no, you don't have to warn him about the kippah. Once you warned him already 3 times not to do the sin, you just throw him inside. Now, the halakha, the Rambam says, it's like the Rabbanan, he does it twice, he gets makot. The 3rd time he does it, if he doesn't accept the makot, he doesn't have to accept it. And the 3rd time he does the avirah, you already throw him into the kippah. Ma kippah. And what is this? Amar Yehuda, Velo komato. Exactly his height. Rambam says no place to lay down. Right? And where is this remez? Amar Ish Lakish. Temotot rasha ra'ah. The death blow of the wicked is evil. Their own evil causes them to get this death. Here this guy is doing the amirah one after the other. And we tell him, stop, do tshuva, stuff like that. He doesn't. He's caused his own death. He's thrown into the kippah, and he is killed indirectly. The person doesn't know his time. Kadagim, like fish, they go into the evil trap. Right? Just like the fish doesn't know he's about to be taken up and killed. So too people don't know their time. Now, why is the fish's trap called the evil one? Because it's the hook. What does that mean? He says the Yad Ramah is that the fish, unlike other traps, usually you trap a bird. Right? You have a cage, he comes in, you lock it. Right? He doesn't even know he's trapped. He's stuck. Okay, he figures out he's stuck, but it's not painful in the degree that he's no pain. This is with the fish. The minute the fish bites the hook, he's already in pain because his mouth now is stuck in the hook. So he says that's what happens to the Sha'im. They're making the sins. They don't realize that sin has already hooked them, and they're going to be killed because of that sin. Okay. Now, we had this case before also. Guy killed somebody. Didn't have proper hatra'ah. You don't have a proper edim. So when the guy walks free, we know he killed somebody. So here, listen to this. A horig never shelo be'edim. Person killed someone without edim. So how do you know he did it? Okay, so we'll see that in a minute. You throw him into the kippah. You give him a little bit of bread, a little bit of water, and he dies there. So here you go. The guy who thought he didn't get the warning and stuff like that, you're going to let him go walk free? No. We don't let murderers walk free. They're very bad for society. If you have a person who can kill a cop and you can go free on the street, this is terrible, right? There's no, you can't have a society people can get away with killing. So you have to put him in the kippah and you kill him indirectly because the Betin cannot kill him with the mitat of Betin because they don't have the justification judicially to do that, but they can't let him back into society either. So through a grama, we are able to kill him. From where we know he killed him, if you say there's no Edom. Amarav be'edot miyuchedet means isolated testimony. Usually, in order for witnesses, the testimony to be true, they have to have seen it from the same vantage point. But let's say there's a street and there's 2 buildings on opposite sides of the street. Okay, and one guy's looking from one building and one guy's looking from the other building from the window. They're both seeing it from a different vantage point. The testimony is not considered one testimony and it can't be used in court. But we both know and they saw that he did it. So we can't let this guy go back out because the testimony didn't work out. So we put him into the kippah, and that's the way we deal with him. Ushmul Amar Shelo Be'atra. You didn't give him a full warning. You tried to give him the warning, he ran away, whatever. You know he did it on purpose, but he didn't get a proper warning. Still, even in this case, you can also throw him into the kippah. Right? The Rambam says they're not arguing. Each case is true. Rav Chizda Amar Avimi Kigon Itkachush B'Bidikot V'Lo Itkachush B'Hakirot Kitetna Ma'aseh U'Badak Ben Zakai U'Ukseh Te'enim. What's this? We already learned this way back. It was 40, 50, almost 40 dafim ago. Okay? And what did we say over there? Chakirot or bidikot? Chakirot, They established the when and the where. Very important. When, what, where is very important because that's how you do hazama, right? You weren't with me all day. You weren't with them because you were with us all day, right? Those are very important questions. So here the Eidim were able to answer the chakirot correctly, the what and where, right? The where and when. They're able to answer that correctly. But the question about what color was this, what color was that, they messed up on that. So since their Eidud wasn't parallel, so you can't accept their Eidud. But we know that this guy did it because the chakirot, the where and the when is correct. You can't kill the guy with mitad beit din because the testimony didn't work out. But even in such a case, you would throw him into the kippah and let him die over there. So in all these cases, person doesn't get away scot-free because they're warning or this or that. The beit din has a job to keep society running and functioning, and therefore they throw him into the kippah. And they feed him sparing bread and scant water. So both places you tell me about kippah, and both tell me something else. Last Mishnah you told me give him barley. Here you tell me give me a little water and a little bread. So what's going on? So what is it? You do both. Right? So the Mishnah split it up, and each Mishnah only says half, and there's a chidush in it. Says the Margot Hayam. The previous Mishnah is karet, right? So you think maybe you don't have to actually kill him; you just keep him in the prison, incarcerate him there for forever. No, so he say you give him the teorin, and he make his stomach burst, and he dies. And here, when it's a rotzeach, we tell you the other part that you should give him a little bit of bread and water, and he dies that way. Now, what's the reason why we do it this way? Why don't you just let him starve to death? That's also a grama, indirect cause. So he's saying that we don't want him to stay there for a very long time. You don't want him to be just withering away there. Rather, we want to hasten his death so he's not in pain for that long, and he gets his punishment quicker. Okay, now we're starting another Mishnah. And a lot of part of this afterwards, a lot of part of it is Agadata, a story that's related to the Mishnah. We're going to get through a big story, and then we'll call it. We'll call it a day after that. Okay, so just stick with me. Very interesting Gemara. Let's take a look. Hagonev et hakasva. Now that we dealt with punishing a person not through the regular modes of punishment, but rather through the kippah, an indirect cause of death by the court. We're now going to deal with other cases that you can kill somebody and punish them not through the courts. Hagonev et kasva, someone who steals a kasva. We're going to see if this means a keli from the mikdash. Then makalel bekosim, or someone who curses Hashem with kosem. Okay, kosem usually migadev gets skila, someone who curses Hashem, but this is a different type of cursing. We'll get there in a moment. Aramit. Oh, this one you remember. And someone who is bo'el, cohabits, he has relations, intercourse with a goyah. What do we say? Kana'in pog'in bo. A zealot can kill them. Remember, Pinhas and Zimri? This is the halacha. V'habo'el aramit, if someone is having relations with a goyah, kana'in pog'in bo. A kanai, a zealot, can kill them. All right, this is where the Agadata is going to come in because of this part of the Mishnah. We're going to explain everything. Kohen sheshimesh b'tumah. Another case. A Kohen is doing the service b'tumah. His brothers, the Kohanim, don't have to bring him to Bet Din. If you bring him to Bet Din, he gets makot. They don't have to bring him there. The youngsters of the Kuna who are not yet serving in the Mikdash, so it doesn't make a difference if they come Tamei. They take him outside the Azara, mostly outside of the temple area, completely out. And they split open his skull with clubs, or they stab his skull with sticks. They basically kill the guy. If an Israelite does service in the Mikdash, which is Kohen supposed to do, Rabbi Kiva says you give the guy henik. No, the Shamayim will take care of him. That's the Mishnah. Now we start the Gemara. My kasva. What's kasva? Amar Yehuda. Kili sherit. It is a service vessel of the temple. V'chein omer ve'ed kesot hanasech. Right? Kasva. It's talking about the tubes of the shulchan. The shulchan had certain tubes that they were able to put the bread on. Small little vessel. Even if you steal that, if you steal something bigger, you're going to a kanaim pogin bo. A zealot can kill you. Person, they should not come and look at the holy as it's being inserted. At least they die. But we learn kivala can mean kivloa, as swallowing, meaning as stealing. Someone steals kodesh, he'll be vamet, he will be killed. Kanaim pogin bo. Hamkalel bekosem. What is kosem? So the Rashi and the Rambam. Rashi says kosem means you're cursing Hashem through magicians, right? And the Rambam says kosem, because kosem usually means magic. But the Rambam says it means avodah zarah. Regardless, it means a supernatural force. And what we're saying, Tanakh of Yosef, Yakeh kosem et kosmo. Mari amrein Yakeh kosem lo ukono makno. So different opinions of what the person says. He says, let the idol or the magician smite the one who endowed it with supernatural powers, meaning God gave it powers, and let him smite the one who gave the power. Let him smite God. Or let the supernatural first smite him, the enemy, his creator, and his provider. So both of them are saying, let the kosem, let the Zarah or the magician curse Hashem, although it's not Megadef. Megadef is when you say Hashem curses Hashem. And this, you didn't say this here, but yet it's like, therefore, Kanain Pogin Bo. By the way, all these are halacha Moshe Sinai. All these dinim are halacha Moshe Sinai. Okay, and now the third case, Haboel Aramit, and someone who has improper relations, with a goya. Vayimine. Rav Kahana Mirav. Rav Kahana asked Rav, Lo Pagubo Kanain Mahu. Let's say this guy had a relation with the Goya and nobody killed him. They didn't do it. No zealot did it. What's afterwards? Inesher Rav Ligmare. Rav forgot his learning. They came to Rav Kahana, the person who asked him the question, in a dream. They told him a pasuk on Malachi. Bagda Yehuda v'to'evan estab Yisrael Yerushalayim kichel Yehuda. Kodesh Hashem asher ahev uval bat el nechar. Yehuda has dealt treacherously. They committed an abomination in Israel. For Judah has profaned the holiness of Hashem, and that he has loved and married the daughter of an alien god. Ata amar le hachi akrinun. Rav Kahana came and told Rav, this is what they told me in my dream. And then Rav remembered his teaching. And he said, Bagda Yehuda, this is avodah zarah. As it says, Kibigatem bet Yisrael num Hashem. Then the pasuk continues. V'to'iva nasa Yerushalayim. They made a to'iva. Ze mishkav zachur. This is mishkav zachur. This is homosexuality. V'cheinu oimer. Ve'etzachal lo tishkav mishkav isha to'iva hi. Ki chilal Yehuda kodesh Hashem. For Judah has profaned the holiness. Zu zona. V'cheinu mar. Lo tieh kedesha mibenot Yisrael. There should not be a kedesha. There shouldn't be a harlot. Okay. Uva'al bat el nechar. And marry the daughter of alien god, zehaba al hakutit. That means having relations with a goya. And right after it says, Yachet Hashem laish asher yasena irvaone mo'olei Yaakov magish mechalash Hashem tzivakot. May God correct the man that does this. The Rambam says, based on this, that if a man has relations with a goya, he's chayev karetz. Im tamid chacham hu lo yeh lo er b'chachamim. If he's a Talmid Chacham, he won't have a son who is able to speak with the Chachamim. He wouldn't be able to answer students. He wouldn't be someone who could function in Torah. And if he's a Kohen, he wouldn't have a son who would be able to serve in the Mikdash as punishment for him being Boel a Goya. Anyone who has relations with a Goya, it's as if his in-laws are the avodah zarah. And he had relations with the daughter of an alien god. And does the avodah zarah have a daughter? Rather, if someone is with the goya, it's as if his in-laws now are the avodah zarah. Now, unrelated to this, there's another teaching from Rabbi Chia bar Abuya. Katuv al Gugato Yehoyakim. It was written on the forehead, on the skull of Yehoyakim, on the skull of Gugato Yehoyakim. Yehoyakim was a terrible king, bad guy. And Nebuchadnezzar was leading him out, and Yirmiyahu gave him a nevuah that he was going to have a kavura like a chamor. He died on the road, and either his body was eaten by dogs or whatever it was. And on his skull it said Zot ve'od acher, this and one more. So here's the story. Grandfather of Preda, which was Rechir bar Abuya, he found a certain skull that was cast down in the gates of Jerusalem. And was written on it, this and still another. So Rabbi Chia sees a skull, he realizes he has to get buried. So he buries it, and it breaks out, it jumps out. I don't know about you, if I was burying a skull and then it jumps out of the ground, I would run away. And not Rabbi Chia. So he buries it again, and it pops out again. Amar hay Gugatasha Yoakim. Ooh, this is Yoakim. It's going to be cast beyond the gates of Jerusalem. It's going to be dragged. It's not going to go into the ground. He says, Amar Malkahu. He says, wait, but he's a king. You're right, he's a bad king. He already had his kapara. No, why really let more? Busha. I'm not going to let it be the more disgrace. So he wrapped it up in silk and took it home in a box. His wife comes home, she's cleaning up the house, she finds his skull. So she goes out to the neighbors, and they have they give her what they give them the neighbors. These other women give her the idea of what it is. They said to her, he the law come in she la. Oh, your husband, he had a first wife, his love of his youth, and she died. And he can't get over her, and therefore he has her skull in the house. So where they come with these ideas, nobody knows, but this is what they said. She got to tell it to her, so she got upset, and she goes and she opens the oven, and she burns the skull inside there. She cremates the skull. Here comes home, he smells burnt skull. So he says, what's going on? Finds out that it's the skull that got burnt. Oh, that's what it means. He already got punished once, but he has to get another punishment. Punishment of being cremated and being consumed by fire. Okay. Getting back into the Boel Aramit. Now, really in the Torah, from the Torah standpoint, right, we based on the Nevi'im, the Rambam says the person gets karet for being with a goya. But the Torah tells us you're not allowed to marry female goyim. You're not allowed to marry them. The tchaten, right, to get married to them, which means to have a committed relationship. What about just having, for lack of better terms, a one-night stand with a goya? Really, the Torah doesn't really talk about it. And it was the betin shel chashmonai, the betin of the chashmonaim, so the Hanukkah period, that they made a gezerah. If someone is with a goya even one time, what happens to them? Remember, because during the time of the Hellenism, they were trying to break down Judaism and all the religions, assimilate. There's no difference. So we came and made a gezerah. If someone comes with a kutit, with a goya, he's going to be hayab mishum nishga. What's nishga? Nishga is the nun is nida. La halacha from the Torah. Only a Israelite, right? A Jewess, her flow of blood causes her to become a nida. A goya's blood and her cycle doesn't cause her to become a nida. She doesn't have a din of nida. But the Rabbanan came and said, we're making a gezerah of nida de Rabbanan on female goyim. Furthermore, the second one is nishka, shivcha. Right? A Jewish man is not allowed to marry a shivcha. They gave the status of a non-Jewish woman to be a shivcha. Can't marry them. Then is a goya. It's like marrying a goya. You're not allowed to marry we know you're not allowed to marry a goya But now we made that even a one-night stand is considered like a marriage. And therefore, even that will be asur. And then Eshet Ish. He also gave her the status of an Eshet Ish. Okay, between Bnei Noach, between the children of Noach, if one guy has a committed relationship with a Goya, then another guy cannot have a relationship with her because she already has a committed relationship. The minute they go away from each other, then there would be considered pnuya, considered open, and another guy is allowed to be with her, right? If she's just having one night stands with everybody, then there's no thing of committed relationship. She has to be a committed relationship with somebody. We saw this already. She has to be called this guy's girl, whatever, something like that. But for Jews to be Eshet Ish, you have to have kiddushin, and there's no kiddushin. So really, there is no Eshet, even though she's considered Eshet Ish for another guy, she's not considered Eshet Ish for a Jew. However, Chashmai Betin said she's going to get a din of Eshet Ish as well. Ata Ravin Amar, when Ravin came, he said Mishum Nishgaz, not because of Eshet Ish, but rather the last one would be Zonah, that she could be considered a Zonah. Now, a Kohen can marry a Zonah, but the Rambam says even a regular Jew should stay away from a Zonah. So, of Mishum Eshut Letluhu, there's no Eshut. Beidach, Neshave Vadai Lo Mifkerei. Says no. The machlokus is it because of Gizah of an Eshet Ish or because of Zona? So one says it's because of Zona because there is no Eshus by Goyim. The other one says no, there is because the men, even though their wives may be promiscuous, they themselves don't let their wives do that. They would rather their wives not be promiscuous. Okay, fine. So we see the Gezeran. The Rambam brings us down the halacha. It says you're with a goya, you go over all these Gezerot as well as your chayav karet, as it says in Nach. Okay. Now, Amar Rav Chizda Haba Li Molech. Let's say you see somebody being Boel and Aramit. Someone is having relations with the goya. So you come to the betin, you say, "Hi, can I kill this guy?" All right, it's Kanaim Pogimbo. Ein Morilo. The judges cannot say yes. Cannot say yes. You cannot tell them yes. We understand that it's not to the reshut of this of the betin. The betin cannot give instruction to him to go kill somebody. It's basically up to him if he wants to do it or not. Is he a kanoi or not? Itmar nami muhalachot amar Abba Hana amar Yohanan habali malech ein morilo. Someone comes and says, "Can I kill the guy?" You don't answer. But even so, you should know, you can only kill Zimri when he was actually in the act of being with Cosby. But if Zimri would have stopped being, he disconnected himself from Cosby, right? Then Pinchas killed him. Pinchas naharag alav. Pinchas would be killed because he killed someone else. Right? You don't get off scot-free because you're a Kanaim and you're being Pogin Bo. So much more so. If Zimri would have turned around and killed Pinchas, you would not kill Zimri. Because Pinchas was a rodef. Pinchas was trying to kill him. And he's allowed to protect himself from being killed. So, look, this Kanaim, you can't tell him to go do it. He doesn't have any protection. Okay? If he kills at the wrong moment, he's going to be Hayav Mita. And if he gets killed while trying to do it, that's it. You can't even punish the guy who killed him because he was considered a rodeh. So it comes with a lot of responsibility. But Amar Moshe El Shoftei Yisrael. Now we go into a little bit of the story over here. Right, these people did the Baal Peor. So Moshe said, take the Shoftim, take the judges, and let's judge these people who did the Avodah Zarah and punish them. What happens at this moment? Allah Shifto Shel Shimon, it tells Zimri ben Salu. Shevet Shimon, who many of them did the Baal Peor, they came to Zimri ben Salu. And they tell him, Amr Lo, Hen Danini Denefashot. They are judging cases of capital punishment. And you're sitting here keeping quiet. Many members of our tribe are being killed. So what did this brilliant Zimri do? He took 24,000 Jews and he went to Cosbi. He said to her, Hashmi'ili, come be with me. Amartlo bat melech, she said, I'm a princess. And the king, my father, said to me, Lo tishma'i ela legadol shebehem. Only commit the sin with Moshe, not with anybody else. Only with the most important of them. So what happens? He says, we're talking about Moshe. Just he's a prince, just like me, right? I'm greater than him. Because I am second born. I am from Shevet Shimon. He says, I'm from Shevet Shimon. He's from Shevet Levi. I'm greater than him. So you should submit to me. Tafsa bevloriata. He grabs her from the hair. Many others says why? So why if it tells her grab from the hair? Because she had what was called non-Jewish hair. They had different type of hair styles for Jews and non-Jews, just like you have today. And she was sporting a non-Jewish hair, and he wanted to take her as a goya. So he took her from the hair. Vehevia etzel Moshe. And he brings it to Moshe. Oh, he says to Moshe, Amar lo, Ben Amram, hey, son of Amram, Zu Asura or Muteret? This Kozbi, this Goya, is Mutter or Asur? Ve'im Tomar Asura, and if you say it's Asur, Vat Yitro mi hitiralach. Who let you be with the daughter of Yitro? She's also a Goya. Now, obviously, he's making a big mistake. First of all, Moshe Rabbeinu got married to Zipporah when there was no Torah yet. Everyone was Bnei Noach. Zipporah was at Har Sinai. She became a Jew, when everyone else became Jews from Bnei Noach to Bnei Yisrael. But here, this Kozbi is already after Matan Torah, so there's no comparison. However, when you're trying to make a balagan, you don't care about comparison. You just want to make balagan. Ve'im tomar asura ba itor mihitiralach. Italma mimenu halacha. Moshe Rabbeinu forgot, and Naim pogim bo, that a zealot a lot of killing. He forgot this halacha. Ga'u chulam b'chiyah. Everyone started crying. V'hainu dichtiv. Ve'hem b'buchim petach oel moed. This is what it says over there, that they were crying at the tent of meeting. And it says Pinchas saw. Mara'a. Amar Rav said, he saw what was going on. He heard the halacha. Amar lo. Pinchas said to Moshe, Achi Avi, the brother of my father's father, Avi Abba. Lach lo kach limati b'letacham Har Sinai. When you came down from Har Sinai, didn't you teach me this halacha? Haboel kutit kanim pogimbo. If someone is having relations with a goya, the kanai could be pogimbo, can kill him. Amar lo. Kraina the igrata iu leheve parvakna. Let the one who reads the letter be the agent to carry out its instructions. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't tell him yes. If you go to Sanhedrin, you can't tell him yes. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't say yes. Moshe Rabbeinu said, if you know what to do it. I don't know what to do. Right? You know what to do it. Ushmuel Amar Ra'a. Pinchas saw. What did he see? Ein chacham ve'ein tuna ve'ein etzel leneged Hashem. There's no wisdom, understanding, or counsel against the honor of Hashem, which means kol makom sheyesh chilul Hashem. Whenever there's a chilul Hashem, ein cholkin kavod larav. We do not worry about giving respect to a teacher. Meaning, we don't say, "Oh, let Moshe Rabbeinu take care of it." If you see the chilul Hashem going on, you have to take care of it. Pinchas saw that a malach came and started killing people because of this sin. That's why it says, he got up and he took a spear. It says that he got up from the Sanhedrin and then he took the weapon, teaching us that you can't bring a weapon into the Beit Midrash or into the shul. Right? There's a bigger chidush I once heard was that you see Pinchas wasn't a kanai, wasn't a zealot walking around with a spear looking who he should kill. He had to get up and find the spear. Right? Some people are zealots; they're always ready to lash out on somebody. They have the spear ready with them at all times. Not Pinchas. He didn't have the spear; he had to go and get it. Now, shalav shananabi nechab. He removed the metal part of it and placed it under his garment. Right? V'haya nish'an v'holech amalko. And he took the stick part and he was walking in it as if it's a walking stick. Even shegia etzel shivto Shimon amar. When he came up to Shevet Shimon, he said, when do we ever find that Levi is greater than Shimon? If you guys are doing this sin, I want to get in on it. This is good stuff. They said, whoa, let him in. Look, get him inside. He wants to also do this Avirah. The rabbis are also letting this. You know, when people are doing stuff wrong, they're always looking for a rabbi to say, oh, he allows it. So they got excited. Pinchas is coming. He's from Moshe Rabbeinu's family. He's also doing it. Let him in. We'll take a picture, photo op. We'll say, this rabbi lets. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. This is happening. 6 miracles happen. There are those Midashim that say 12 miracles happen. Okay, they're in different shitot. Argument says 6. What were the 6? Zimri sees Pinchas coming to kill him. He wanted to disconnect from Cosby. And miracle happened. He couldn't. Got stuck. Zimri could have called out for help. And he lost his ability to talk. That Pinchas killed them directly in their genitalia, straight through his male genitalia and straight through her female genitalia. Okay, in the act, the way they were. And they did not fall off the spear. They stayed on the spear. And when he had to come out, they're both on the spear. He's holding it this way. The lintel of the door expanded for him, so he doesn't have to push it down because maybe it's going to slip out. But the people saw that they wanted to hurt Pinchas. Malach came and wreaked destruction among them, so they wouldn't be able to touch Pinchas. But the Pinchas came and laid down the body of Zimri and Cosby in front of Hashem. And he said to Hashem, because of these 2 people, 24,000 Jews had to die. He's arguing with Hashem. It was 24,000 who died. That's what it says in Tehillim. Pinchas got up and prayed, and the Magifah stopped. It doesn't say he just prayed. Means he quarreled, he fought. He's fighting with Hashem. He said, Hashem, because of these 2 people, you let 24,000 Jews die? Stop it already. So, when the Malach started hearing Pinchas talking this way, they wanted to stop it. But Hashem said to them, leave him. Kanai ben Kanaihu. He is a zealot, the son of a zealot. Right? Just like Levi took revenge against the people who raped Dinah, so too now, Pinchas is taking revenge of those who are doing the wrong thing. And just like his grandfather Aharon was able to put the ketoret and stop things and make everything calm down, so too he is calming down the wrath of Hashem, who just killed 24,000 people because of the sin. Some of the Shvatim started to make fun of him. They said, look at this Ben Puti. His mother's father, which is Yitro, right? Because Elazar married another daughter of Yitro. He said, look, these guys filled up idols, animals for idols. And now he goes and kills a prince of Israel. Therefore, the Torah came and said who he really is. Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aharon HaKohen. He's from Kohen family. Give him peace. You give him peace, and everyone will follow suit and also be peaceful to Pinchas. Furthermore, this says Briti Shalom Uriah Kapara Zo, and this means this kapara that Pinchas got by killing them. It continues working forever. This is such a great, great thing that he did that it kapara for a long time. We'll just finish up with this last piece to the 2 dots. We didn't do it on Shul on Shabbat, but it's really part of the same sugya, so it really should be together. Amar Rav Nachman Amarav. My dichtiv. What does it mean? Zarzir motnaim otayesh umelech al kum imo. Okay, pasuk Mishlei. What it means is as follows. Who's the Zarzir? This is Zimri. He did it with Cosby 240 times on that day. Okay, the word Zarzir is a gematria of what did I say? How much? 424. 424 times. Now, is it really true he did it 424? They say probably not, but it means his lust was so much that he just kept going at it. And Pinchas was waiting till he did it enough times that he would get weak. And he didn't know that Hashem was with him, and he didn't have to wait for him to get weak. He could have gone in and done it right away, and Hashem would have let him kill. He would have let him kill Zimri right away. A Braita was taught that 60 times Zimri was with Cosbi until his betzim, his testicles became like an adlid egg, and he got ruined. It was like already it wasn't coming out correctly. And Cosbi became like a garden bed filled with water. That's how much times they were together. Cosbi's size was the size of a bet se'ah. It's a very, very large size, meaning, again, in the many other says it's speaking on hyperbole, but it's saying that she wasn't very nice. She was very big. Tani Rav Kosef, kever shel ama. The size of the opening of her womb was a cubit. After so much being with that, she opened up more. Others say it actually means kever, her actual grave, even though she was very big. When she died, she was cut up into small pieces and thrown into one kever. Amar Rav Sheshit, lo Cosbi Shema. Her real name was not Cosbi. Ela Shivlaniya Batsur Shema. Rather, her name was Shivlanai, the daughter of Tsur. Balama Nikra Shema Cosbi. And why was she called Cosbi? She kizva ba'aviyah. But she deceived her father. She fooled her father. Her father said, be with Moshe. She went with Zimri. Davar acher. Cosbi Shamra Laviyah. Cosbi Amzeh. Or because she said to her father, let the slaughter of this nation come through me. Right? She volunteered to go and do this. Behind Amrin J. Ben Kanei Rubanei. Shivlanai, my baya. What is Shivlanai doing between the reeds and the rushes at the ponds? What is Bahadai Kelife, the Kanei Shivlanai, my baya? What is Shivlanai doing secluded by peeling the reeds? Gafta Le'ima. She has prostituted her mother over there. Since people believe that she acted immorally there, she caused them to speak about her mother about that way as well. And we'll end with this. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Hamisha Shemot Yeshlo. Zimri had 5 names. Zimri, Uven Salu, Vishaul, Uben Kananit, Usumiel ben Surishadai. Zimri, why is his name Zimri? Achina Asek Kibetza Muzeret. Because his testicles became like Zarzir. Became all ruined. He's using it so much. Ben Salu Hisli Avonot Shel Mishpahato. Ben Salu, because he caused people to speak of his sins of his family and to compare them to its members to adulterers. Salu meaning speak and compare. So the whole family was like this. Shaul because he lent himself to his sin. Ben Eknanit he did the deeds of Kenan, doing such sins. What was his real name? Shlumiel ben Surishadai Shimo. That was his real name. Okay, so with this, we finished both last week's and this week's Gemara. Next week we will continue from over here.